Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. I always like to mention, at least periodically, that the nicest thing about today is being here with you. No matter what we do, no matter what is going on, the most important thing is that loving presence that you have within yourself, your kindness, your goodness that you're feeling right now. We've had a lot of things over the past few weeks, from the Christmas service to New Year's, to the testimonials, the ET project, and especially that lovely blue dot, a look at our Earth. But again, the most important thing is how you're doing. Is there a loving presence within you? Are you rising in consciousness? The most important thing is the spirit within you. Today we'll be talking about the body and the earth. But again, I just want to emphasize the most important thing is the love and the kindness that you have within yourself. That's what you feel every day. Having said that, let me just say that the last several weeks have been quite a joy for me, as so many of you have responded to the series, I'm Here in a Body. It's so easy to forget that an essential part of who we are is we are in a body. The body is the vehicle through which we experience life here on the planet. Our bodies link us to the earth, and our senses are the power lines of our experiences. And as we come to our senses, we have experienced more and more of who we are in the present moment, right here, right now, where we are on the planet with our Mother Earth, the one consistent energy of our human experience. Thus, it's a joy for me to present part 3 of the series, Here I Am in a Body. I would first like to make a brief comment and then share with you in great detail the 3 purposes for why I feel we are here on the earth. I'll be a little philosophical, but much more practical as well. Let's begin. I think that each one of us periodically, at least on some occasions, have been able to take a walk in nature and to experience that momentary peace. Such a walk just seems to settle us, just slows us down. And yet we also understand so many times what happens is that there seems to be a separation between that nice, calm walk in nature and the return to the everyday world. Oftentimes what we find is that there is a divide, in fact, a great divide between nature and our physical well-being and the world in which we live with our bodies. There seems to be a split between the rhythms of nature and the paces of the everyday world. What's very important for us is that we see that so many times these things show up, oftentimes in these unnoticed ways. We pay more attention to our clothes than we do to our bodies. We pay more attention to our shoes than to our feet. We pay more attention to how we look as opposed to how we feel. And sometimes we just pay so much more attention to the busyness of life than to the beauty of our bodies and our souls. My goal today is to bridge what I consider to be an unnecessary divide, to bring the world of nature much closer and hopefully in partnership with the everyday world in which we live. I will do this by sharing with you the 3 purposes of life that I see in the material world. I certainly invite you to add your own thoughts, but I also hope that these 3 purposes might be helpful for your growth as well. The first purpose. The first purpose, I think, of why we are here on earth is simply to enjoy it. I would suggest to you that this planet, 13.6 billion years in the making, is more than just a casual thought in its creator's minds. Our first purpose, I would suggest, for being in the material reality, and especially now being here on earth, is to enjoy the wonderful experiences that have been provided for us. Let me just repeat this again. The first purpose for being in the material realms, and especially here on earth, is to enjoy the wonderful experiences that have been provided for us, and particularly the way that we can experience the earth through our bodies. Obviously, it is our bodies that are of the earth, our first planetary mother, and through the bodies that we can experience not only enjoyable things within our body, but also things in nature such as plants and animals. Let me try to explain that. May I just suggest, first of all, some of the joys concerning our physical bodies. For example, how wonderful it is to experience a beautiful sunrise and then those colorful sunsets. How wonderful it is to experience the beauty of an ocean, the majesty of a mountain. How wonderful it is to experience all of those personal delights, from the sun warming us, to foods we eat, and sexual intimacy that we enjoy. How wonderful it is to have a body to experience these things. And then when it comes to plants, how wonderful it is to see the beauty and smell the fragrance of a bouquet of flowers. They can truly take your breath away. Or how about planting and harvesting vegetables that bring succulence to your taste and nourishment to your bodies? Or just how fun to go out and hug a tree and allow an aloe plant to bring healing to a burn. Wonderful things with plants, and of course with animals. For so many of us, your pets are like your children. I see them constantly on our Zoom screen, cats walking in front of our Zoom cameras, and dogs barking in the background. I am very much reminded of an insight by Eckhart Tolle when he saw a man walking his dog, and he said, "Is the man walking the dog, or is the dog walking the man?" And how about that old MacDonald having an E-I-E-I phone? Wonderful, wonderful things when we hear the sounds of our animal friends. Owls hoot, birds sing, lions roar, wolves howl, whales horn, and horses whinny. Perhaps old MacDonald was right there at the very beginning of it all. The earth is 16.6 billion years in the making, all here for you to enjoy through your body. Do you not see this? Do you not feel this? And one more thing. This was pointed out to me in very graphic ways by Robert Monroe, when he clearly saw that your body can convey many things to other bodies, whether they be humans, plants, or animals. How your smile denotes acceptance for another. How a gentle touch or even a hug says things that words can only point to. How a simple folding of the hands in a namaste bow can acknowledge the divinity of another. Do you not see what a valued partner the body is to your soul? The body being able to express the signs of well-being and goodness from your soul into the world with others. It's a wonderful creation, this physicality of ours. The second purpose. I believe the second purpose for being in a body is to work with the material world to bring forth all of the creative possibilities that are inherent in the material world as you bring your intelligence to work harmoniously with it. It's very, very important to realize that any inventor, although they seem to be inventing something, what she or he is really doing is discovering what is already present in the raw materials of the physical world. Let me just say this again. It's very important for us to realize that no inventor is inventing anything. They are simply discovering, by way of the use of their intelligence, what is already present in the raw materials of the physical world. You see, it is the exploration, the partnership of the raw materials of the world, which provides a creative gold mine in conjunction with the intelligent mind to express the physical world in ever more creative ways. There have been so many discoveries, not inventions, over the past, but certainly many more to come. But on a recent list of the discoveries, the one that was indicated as the very best one, the very best discovery so far, is the cell phone in your hand. Who would have thought that a cell phone in your hand could provide so much information from libraries, as well as connections, communications with everyone in the world? In fact, I'm using this cell phone now as a live streaming for this particular teaching. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing, this incredible cell phone that we have. But there are many other wonderful things here on the earth that have been discovered. I'll just share with you a couple of my favorites. They're just kind of fun. For me, one of the most important things is still the car, the automobile. It takes you wherever you want to go. It runs that combustion engine. And then the airplane. Still a mystery to me at times, and how something heavier than air can get off the ground into the air and stay there. And particularly, I remember one of my uncles remarking about the refrigerator. He would say, how can you get a cold box on a hot day of 90 degrees? All remarkable things. But let me just suggest, all of those remarkable things are secondary to all of the remarkable things that you create as you in your physical world. I'm just going to suggest a couple of things that you create. First of all, I think all of us, as we look back in our lives, could remember with a certain amount of creativity that card we made for Mother's Day or Father's Day, and how they were treasured despite the quality of the artwork. Or even today, the creativity we use in celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, something that you created that is precious for another. And quite frankly, one of the things that I love to do is to take a recipe and then doctor it, adding this or substituting that. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And there's even more. There's more. The beauty, the wonderful feelings we get as we move into meditation, and as we move into those higher levels of energy, we begin to feel the resonances, the reverberations of those waves of energy through our bodies, helping us to feel lighter and wanting us to hug others. And dare I mention how the material world itself teaches us so many lessons, how we are taught the oneness of all, especially through such books as The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlenben, and then that documentary, Fantastic Fungi. There's a oneness already in nature that supports the oneness we have within us. And then how the seasons remind us, of the changing nature of physical things. And no matter how bad today is, there's always tomorrow to begin anew. And that earth, that whole earth itself, that wonderful, wonderful planet, not only is it a wonderful planet, but we each have our own little earth. We each have our own plot. And just how wonderful it is to bloom where you are planted. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. I think what we're learning to understand is that it's been often said that for many of us, we are tourists in our own lives. We're tourists in our own lives. We don't see what's right in front of our noses. I think for many of us, that has changed. We have ceased being tourists. We see and enjoy what is right in front of our noses. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And yet, speaking of tourism, we're now coming to the third part of why I believe we are here on the planet. Namely, that someday we will choose to leave the material realms. Someday we'll choose to leave the material realms. What I'd like to share with you are three particular, what I consider to be practical points concerning leaving the material realms. Please listen closely. But as I always encourage you, make up your own minds. First, I believe that we have had many other lives in other dimensions because we are eternal souls in not just space-time human bodies. I believe we're eternal souls, not simply space-time human bodies. And just as we have had a pre-existence prior to coming to the earth, we will have a post-existence as well. We are explorers. We are creators in the material realms. I hold this position because I realize that my body is a vehicle for my soul's expression. My body is not who I am. My body is what I have. It's my earth suit, which is a necessity here in the material realms. Furthermore, I believe that we can readily come to this understanding of being an eternal soul by entering the higher realms of your inner self. many of us are truly experiencing this now as we enter into the 5th, 6th, and 7th layers of thought that Jim Self has been presenting to us. I believe that this information, this experience, enables us to understand that we really are those eternal souls. It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. It is an experience of who you are. And when you come to the conclusion that you are an eternal soul in a physical body, it's just very important to understand that, well, this is my identity. Secondly, I believe that the earth experience and my experience in the material world is an opportunity for us to gather more creative information. So the second thing is that we are here to gather information. Let me be quite clear. Think along with me. It's quite true that we learn many lessons while we are here in the material realms, especially lessons concerning our mental and emotional fields, such as, well, what is important in life, what is temporary as opposed to what is permanent, what can you expect from a relationship, what is codependency. All of these lessons you can learn. And then there's more positive ones. How can you be more loving? How can you maintain your happiness? How can we get along with one another? All of those wonderful, wonderful lessons. And certainly the list can go on and on and on. These lessons are very, very important, but I believe that they are secondary to what we are really doing. What we are really doing, I think, is creating new experiences that will provide new possibilities for new experiences. I'll say that again. What we are really doing here on the planet is creating new possibilities, new experiences that will then provide new possibilities for future experiences. Let's say it one more time. What we're really doing here on the planet is creating new experiences that will provide new possibilities for new future experiences. Bob Monroe alludes to this in his wonderful book, The Ultimate Journey. He says very provocatively that we are here in the material realms to acquire left brain logic. We already have right brain awareness. What we're here to acquire is left brain thinking. And this newly acquired left brain thinking will enable us to have new experiences in the material realms and beyond. I'll just say it again. This acquired left brain thinking will enable us to have new experiences in the material realms and beyond. This is quite a vision. Yet it's not unlike A Course in Miracles teaches, which simply says that the Holy Spirit can use perception for a higher purpose. The Holy Spirit can use what you seem to be experiencing for something bigger. Quite interesting, and perhaps the topic for maybe a future teaching. Okay, the third thing about we're here on a temporary basis. And might I say that this is how I truly feel. When we are called upon to leave the material realms, when death comes, for the vast majority of us, death comes unrequested and seemingly undesired. It just seems to happen to us unexpectedly, obviously, because we so identify with our physical bodies. My personal feeling is that the notion of an unaccepted death might start changing, and I believe that we will have a certain controllability over our physical self. I believe, doesn't mean you have to believe it, I believe that as we continue to know ourselves as conscious, eternal souls, I believe that as we identify ourselves as conscious, eternal souls, we will clearly then identify ourself with our conscious, eternal soul self. As we identify with our conscious, eternal soul self, the physical death that comes upon us will not come unexpectedly. Rather, as we identify with our conscious, eternal soul self, I believe that we will then consciously choose when we will lay the body aside. Or put in everyday terms, you can stay in the body as long as you want to. Let me just repeat this. I believe that as we identify consciously with our eternal soulness, we will then have conscious choice as to when we will lay our body aside. Or, in everyday terms, you can stay as long as you want to. I'm not telling you to believe this. I'm just telling you this is what makes most sense to me. And you can choose, therefore, how long or how short your stay will be. But to do this, you must do the work of consciously knowing yourself as an eternal soul who is determining the body's duration. You have to do the work to rise in consciousness and to realize that this consciousness is truly your director and guide. Not telling you what to believe, just telling you what makes sense to me. Well, in conclusion, I hope that you will have enjoyed these three teachings of I'm Here in a Body, both the practical and the theoretical suggestions that I have tried to share with you. I believe, obviously, that each one of us truly must do the work in order for us to understand better and to live out these ideas of what will work for you. I'm very happy to have shared with you what I believe, what I see in a physical body, from drinking more water to making a soul choice as to when I will depart. With this in mind, let us move into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Again, let us begin as we normally do by simply moving into the rhythm of our breathing, just breathing in and breathing out, and allowing ourselves to settle, relaxing the body, quieting the mind, and bringing the soul to the fore. Please begin. Here we are. Here we are. Sometimes it's hard to figure out as to here we are. Here we are in a body. Here we are as a soul. And just hard sometimes to know who's in charge. Seems like the body's in charge. Seems like the soul can be in charge as well. May you simply take a moment now to reflect on, I'm a soul in a body for the time being. I'm a soul in a body for the time being. Oh, your mind can quickly come into play and say, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And every time you say, what's going to happen, you miss the joy right in front of your nose. Here you are. You'll be able to enjoy nature today, enjoy food today, being with others today, all enjoyments of the body. The more you worry, you'll miss what's right in front of you. We have a nice little saying that I like. When gratitude is present, nothing is missing. When you're just grateful for just all of the things that your earthly experience has for you, nothing seems to be missing. Be grateful for your beautiful body. Did you notice, as soon as I said be grateful for your beautiful body, did not your inner body come alive? Didn't you just have a new spurt of energy? When you compliment your body, it compliments you. I know you felt that. And the really good news is your body is not simply here on its own. You have an all-knowing soul that not only has created it, but is guiding it right now. Your conscious, present soul is giving direction to your body. Try this. Do that. Nah, better not do that. You have a partnership, your body and soul. Your human being is partnered. Take the time to come into daily contact with your soul so that it might be directive of you in your physical body. The joy comes from your soul. But it sure makes your body feel lighter and happier. You're in a partnership. And lastly, before your soul decides to leave, be as creative as you can. Just be as creative as you can. Try this. Oh, come on, do that. Take a chance. Risk it a little bit. Just be creative. Because every time you are, it's a new experience. And guess what? Every time you have a new experience, it provides the possibility for another new experience. That's what we're here for. Take a shot. Give it a fly. Come on. You can leave whenever you want, but as long as you're here, please don't be a bump on a log. Complacency hastens your departure.
Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee. Seen through eyes of illusion, seen I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee.
I hope that you feel as good as I do at this moment. Just wonderful to be here with you. It's nice to be here with you in the body. May that kindness and love within each one of us give direction to an internal satisfaction that we happily extend in satisfaction to nature, to others, and to the universe. Namaste, dear one. Namaste.